Just behind the scenes, it's all good.
Still.
Been through them trenches, been in that dungeon. It's amazing I'm able to still function with the dirt from the prisons that I was buried in. Plus the weight of the world I'm now carrying. But I gotta keep fighting, I can't stop now. For the sisters and brothers that still locked down. For the people that's battling heavy mind wars. In the darkest of hours is when I shine more. Victory is all I see, I'm so locked in. Cause going back in that box is not an option. So I grind all the time, that's my mind state. The sublime intertwined with divine fate. It's whatever for the fam, that's how I'm structured. So when the road gets tough, I get tougher. Some fake, some folded, some fronted. But not me, all I can be is 100. Some fake, some folded, some fronted. But not me, all I can be is 100. 100, 100. All I can be is 100. 100, 100. All I
Yeah.
Free Jefferson Ellie, that's how I'm starting it off.
Free Jefferson Ellie.
Free
So
my
many
brother.
talents and gifts.
Free Poetic Life for Law. We're up here. What's up with y'all?
Hey.
We got like 17 different cameras on right now.
I know. It's crazy.
This is the 100 TV. We've had a multitude of guests up here already. Shout out to everybody. We got a multitude of guests getting lined up. Shout out to Miss Monique behind the scenes, really supporting this. But she's thank you. She's definitely not the only one. There's so many people pushing this right now. So salute to y'all. Today we doing something different. Today, my wife said she wanted to get up here. Miss 100 as I call her. Sabir, what up, man? Yo. And basically she said she wanted to interview me. I don't know. I threw a title up there, honestly, when I did the e-flyer or whatever, but I don't even know if she's gonna ask me, to be honest with you. But that's cool. I'm with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out your way, allow you to introduce yourself, man. I know who you are.
Thank you. Hey, so I just want to welcome, you to a different type of interview today on the 100 TV. I'm actually going to be the host, April Willers, and I'm going to be interviewing this next guest who is by far, one of the greatest influencers I've ever met in life, period. In many different ways and capacities.
Thank you.
But the host of the 100 TV. Welcome.
Okay.
Yes, I like to
thank
welcome
you. Thank you for welcoming me here.
Yes, thank you for your time tonight. I'm gonna get right into it. So a lot of people now are starting to catch on. A lot of people are starting to get engaged with the show on social media. And I just really to know, like, what are some of your thoughts towards coming home? And, is your life right now where you expected it to be?
Man, thoughts as far as coming home, I'm going to say like this. I was locked up for 16 years, 11 months to the day. And each and every one of those days, I thought about my freedom. I thought about my freedom in a bunch of different ways. I thought about just the fact would I even make it home to my freedom. I see my brother Yella up here on he's on the Facebook Live right now. But we came home the same day. He did a similar amount of time. I know he can attest to the same thing. Like you wait for the day, but man, you looking up, you still got 11 years to do. You still got 12 years to do, or whatever it is. It just kind of gets hard. But when you get closer to the door, yeah, I was anticipating. I thought I was mapping everything out. And then I came home and figured out everything that I had pre-planned in my mind and thought that was going to go on. Man, it was total opposite. Like, it was, yeah. But it's a beautiful ride, though. It's chaotic at times, but it's a beautiful ride.
Okay. Well, that's good. What type of expectations did you have, though? Like, were you expecting it to be, just come home at a certain time, find a job in a certain time? Am I supposed to be bringing in this type of income at a certain time? Like, map out to me, the details of how you envision it in your mind. And then we're going to talk about, like, what are some of the things that you experience within, like, your first week or even your first month.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I was the same guy behind the wall that I am out here, for real, for real. I was always about progress. So I already had a list of goals, the things I wanted to accomplish. Getting a job was one of them. I was definitely stressing that at first, because the first day, I told everybody, like, the first day when you come home from prison, you're supposed to breathe. But the first day I came home from prison, let me see. I went to the DMV. So let me say this: I got adjustment disorder. I got anxiety. I suffer from anxiety, right? So my anxiety's up because I'm coming home after 17 years. So I know we're going to breakfast. I know we go to DMV. When we go to DMV, I'm thinking I'm just going to get my ID. Instead, they're like, yo, you can get your license. So I'm happy I got my license, but at the same time, I'm like, dang, now I got to drive. Like, now there's no excuses. I can't stall. And even at McDonald's, I remember when I first went in and they had the digital screen. I didn't understand. I thought it was just like an advertisement. I didn't know you ordered right there. You know what I'm saying? So my anxiety going crazy. And then that night, you know what I'm saying, we speak about it, once in a while. The thing with my stepfather, I wanted a jacket he let me use or wear, and found some stuff he shouldn't have in there as a married man. So it was like my first day home was just crazy because I put him on a shot clock. I told we married to my mom, so I'm home day one. Find out you ain't doing right, and then boom, I gotta tell you, you got 6 months to move out my mom's house. Then get through that, keep the smile on. The next day we're leaving. We get pulled over by the police on the way home. We were in the right though. We didn't get no ticket or none of that, but my anxiety's up. It's like 12:30 in the morning, 1 in the morning. We black. We in North Carolina. I don't know where we at. We in the South. I know that. We get pulled over. I just came home. Then we get home. Bring the stuff. I remember I unpacked the van. Go back out there. We got a flat tire. But let me say this. Before I even get in the house, the power out because the circuit breaker blew on the house. That was like my first 48 hours. Just boom. So everything.
Real talk.
But I was still gonna make progress though. That's what I knew.
You did. You talked about something very important and that I really wanted you to discuss. So this is like the perfect time to talk about that anxiety that you felt, when you were in certain situations and when certain things happen. So this is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's actually also National ADHD Awareness Month as well.
Hey.
Now dealing and having this awareness about mental health, how do you feel as if this plays a part in your life? Like, what type of role does that play, the significance? Do you want to discuss with your audience, what mental health really means to you?
I don't know. There's different layers to that. I would say growing up, not unlike so many people, you experience trauma, but we're taught either directly or indirectly that the trauma we experience is normal. It's just a part of growing up. But that's what you hear. It's very abnormal watching somebody get shot, lose their life at the corner store, and then you go in the house and start playing video games. That's abnormal. And a lot of us, including myself, probably experienced something really similar to that, if not that event right there. I remember I lost my first friend, watched my first friend lose his life in the first grade. He had dropped. We were playing street hockey. We were crossing the street. he was behind us, dropped his he was the goalie, dropped his mask and went back to grab his mask and went in the street, got hit by a car. And the only thing we had as far as like mental health assistance, they sat us on the carpet the next day at school, or it was the day after. I think they helped. We didn't go the next day. They did send like a chaplain or somebody to talk to us. But then they sat all the kids on the carpet and said, hey, Mario's gone. If you need to talk to anybody, we're here. And that's crazy. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, like, a lot of us, for lack of better terms, we're fucked up. And it's unfortunate. But a lot of us continue spiraling out of control because we don't start owning our shit. And at some point, you got to start owning your shit, right? And
Yeah.
I would say I was also one of those guys, because I was taught that trauma is normal. I ain't gonna say I made fun of people when they had mental illness, but I'd be like, nah, man, you tripping. Like, you can you ain't got to do like that. You ain't got to feel like that. But
So do you think that we've all kind of contributed, just to segue just real quick, and I'll still let you continue. Does it feel like we've all kind of played a role in that, maybe just that generation? Because I remember just joking about it, comedians joke about it, like, oh, you LD, oh, you retard.
Yeah,
and like you would joke, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it would be,
And you look at, I mean,
yeah,
you think about it, the majority of the people that ended up in prison was in BD classes, LD classes. They weren't really addressing anything. All they did was take kids and isolate them.
right.
They weren't really addressing anything. So it's a crazy thought, man. But, you know, in my journey, my younger brother, you know, before I even had a chance to meet him, guy that looked just like me. You know, at least we knew of each other. And that, you know, he took his life. And then, you know, as the story goes on, I posted and talked about a little bit up here. I started as stuff, you know, you take too many hits, eventually you start getting wore down, especially when you're not recharging or taking care of yourself. So I started battling certain things, certain thoughts. So mental health to me is it's major. I feel like everybody's got to take a stance and really just own your shit. It's okay. Address your shit. Get out of the stigma that you can't talk to anybody. If you try therapy once, it doesn't work, try it at least 2 or 3 more times till you find the right therapist. You know, you don't necessarily got to take medication, you know, but it's real, man. PTSD, we make songs about it. We glorify it in a way, and it's crazy because PTSD is fucking up a lot of homes. It's sending a lot of people to prison. It's causing a lot of people to lose their lives, but we glorify that.
But we don't even realize that it's trauma.
That's the point. I mean, we do. We're just still in denial. It's out there enough now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what PTSD is. Everybody knows what anxiety is. Everybody knows what depression is. It's just the fact that nobody's owning their shit. Nobody wants to be identified as depressed. Nobody wants to be identified as having bipolar. But at the end of the day, everybody's dealing with something. It might not be as extreme.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
everybody deals with anxiety. It might not be yours might not be to the level of mine, but it connects us, man. We got to start talking about the ugly things, man. It's okay. For real.
So, knowing your current mental state, can you describe how you are coping, you know, with, you know, dealing with being confined 17 years? Trauma still continues. It's a different set of trauma and situations and circumstances, but you're still having to adjust. So how are you still coping with the adjustment?
Oh man, it's it's day to day, no matter what. But some days it's like minute to minute, you know, because it's just life. You're gonna take hits. Some days you're not gonna get hit like that. You know, life is like a football game, man. Some days you're gonna run for 200 yards and score 2 touchdowns. Some days you can't get past the line of scrimmage. You know, it is what it is. But for me, it's just now approaching each day with the understanding that the hits are gonna come.
Right.
Knowing that, all right, I'm embarking on this journey that's different. so I'm gonna catch these blows. You know, we was joking about it earlier. I walked into school and it wasn't a bad moment, but then again, I have walked into school and it's been woo, you know.
Yeah.
I came home. My journey's different than everybody else I know, respectfully. Not that I'm better or worse than anybody, but I came home from 17 years in prison. Now I'm a principal.
Yeah.
Like of an actual school.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you know it, I would say, side note, the same ugly stuff that a lot of people try to hide that would be in my position that I don't hide. Hey, I'm just gonna say a lot of people, they relate. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that too. So the other day, you were actually addressing mental health. You called into the Breakfast Club. There's a recording of it out there. Charlamagne was interviewing you about, a question that had been posed to you and your response. If you care to share, you can. But a couple of things I actually wanted to say in regards to the question that Charlamagne had actually asked you. So he actually got cut off at a point during the interview, and I'll let him go back and explain. But he asked you how much solitary, confinement had you done, and then it was cut off. So I want to follow up this question with how much solitary confinement have you done, and how has it impacted like your mental state of mind? And before you answer that question, I have some statistics. So, on this particular article, it says that solitary confinement, for people with serious mental illness can actually cause extreme suffering. It can do a lot of things. It says that, extreme isolation can have a permanent impact. It could, risk, it can significantly risk suicide, self-injury, self-harm. It's just so many long-term effects that it has. People are unable to function. And if you already had a pre-existing mental illness, it can cause extreme suffering. It can worsen the symptoms, and it can feel like torture. So the question was, how much solitary confinement have you done? How has it impacted your mental state of mind? Now being more conscious and more aware of what mental health is really about.
Oh man. I'm gonna say I can easily say I've done over 3 years combined in isolation, and I would say my longest stint straight when I was transferred from Haynesville Correctional Center back to Sussex 2 for the second time. I was in the hole for close to 2 years straight. I went in the hole in 2007, and because they don't feed you, and then I had guards telling me they was gonna spit my food, so I couldn't eat. I basically wasted away to 155, and man, I was not healthy. I was weak physically. They weren't bringing my med. Man, I went through a whole lot of stuff, man. And I would say the thing about segregation is now they came out with reports and statistics and law changes where they don't house guys in segregation for those periods of time anymore, because it's proven that it has an effect on guys' mental health. And I think the most traumatizing aspect of being in the hole for me was when I was in a jail, when I first got locked up and put in the hole. There was a guy right across the way from me. He kept screaming. He was saying he was seeing rats. He was saying this, saying that. We knew that he was hallucinating. The guards were making fun of it. Needless to say, eventually the screaming stopped. They went to get him out the cell in the morning because he hadn't ate his breakfast tray. And when they opened the door, he was dead. He was
Wow.
he was detoxing off liquor. He was he was a severe alcoholic, and he didn't have access to the alcohol, and his body was shutting down on him, and he ended up losing his life. So I learned in the hole right away by being in the hole at the jail that if something happened to you, it was over with. They weren't coming. You know, you can kick the door, you can scream, you can holler. If it's the wrong individual, if it's the wrong person that's on the other side of that door wearing that uniform, and they don't take you serious, it's over with. And I've seen it on different spreads. Anybody that's been locked up, seen somebody lose their life. Anybody that's done time, seen guys lose lives, heart attacks, stuff like that. Stuff that shouldn't be. If they would have had help, you know, it would have been different. So when I got sent to the hole, any other time, that thought was always kind of looming. That was a place of anxiety, not being in control, not knowing when they were going to bring the trays, not knowing when you're going to eat, not knowing if they're going to kick your door in, shake you down. It was traumatizing. But what's the double-edged sword about the human mind is we're so strong, we'll adapt to just about anything. But at the same time, it causes an adverse negative effect. You shouldn't be adapting to that. It's abnormal. And I got used to it all.
So how do you feel like, you know, with me going over some of these statistics that I just mentioned, you know, how does that relate to, I guess, the turn of events? You know, like now you're out, you're free. Does it impact your life?
Yeah,
because you were, you know, in solitary confinement.
Yeah, I would say hands down. I would say, you know, you mentioned the suicide thing.
Yeah.
I lost a friend of mine on Greensville. He went to the hole and he took his own life. He's not the only one, but I think of him because he had a shot at going home. I think he only had like 10 years left, which is crazy to hear me say, but man, he had a shot at going home. But yeah, I find myself, I mean, you know, you're married to me. You know, when I get into a certain mode, I fight it now, but I tend to want to isolate. I want to shut down. You know, I come in the office or whatever, close the door. So I think that has something to do with it because when I was locked up, especially when I was younger, if I didn't want to be in population, because it was too loud, I couldn't get privacy or whatever, I would either start a fight, I would cuss the seat, I would do something that would get me sent to the hole because I needed to get away. So yeah.
Wow. So it's kind of like indirect, but
yeah, it's crazy.
Still surfaces as a result. So you know, knowing, you know, what you've been through, what you have experienced, and now you're out, you're free. You know, I'm pretty sure it has been people that have been trying to get in contact with you that may or may not have known that you're away for so long. So how do you deal with people that, you know, you may have, you know, felt like they just forgot about you? You know what I mean? Like, how are these interactions? You know, you talked about, you know, walking in, you know, forgiveness and, you know, love and, you know, just all of these great attributes that you have, you know, but did any of these interactions, were they like, did you feel kind of like, I don't know, did you feel some type of way? Were you holding any grudges? You know what I mean? Just not being able to, you know, communicate with some of these people and then just going back, resuming as if nothing had ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, initially when I first got locked up, I think I was angry. You know what I'm saying? I was pissed off or whatever. I was upset. Certain people left. You know, I was I was a teenager still. I got locked up when I was 19. As years went by, and I didn't have those feelings, but I didn't necessarily desire to go look for anybody. When I came home, certain people, you know, a lot of people reached out. And for me, it's just in life, it's just either you're cool or you're not. Either, you know what I'm saying? Either you full of drama or you're not. And that's what it's about. I'm big on like you said, love, forgiveness right now because I'm on this mental health kick. I'm healing myself. That's the only way I can do it. But at the same time, zero tolerance with the drama, negativity. But I'm not really concerned with if you disappear because at the end of the day, I checked out. I feel like I made the decisions I did. It took me out of society. Hey, I got to hold some of that weight. You know?
That's a good way. I feel like that's a good way to deal with it too,
Yeah,
in a positive way.
Yeah, either we cool or we not.
Okay.
You know?
So we're about to like get into some Mr. Willer's, Mrs. Willer's type
Oh Lord
tea.
Jesus.
You know, because I feel like we have an interesting life.
Yeah, I would
Like
say so.
I would say that both of our backstories and in a combination of both.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, dealing with certain things that we've had, you know, have had to endure, experience, and are still here.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to marry me? You know, knowing that in a few short years you're about to experience freedom. You know, did you feel like you just threw in, you know, like you just threw caution to the wind and you was just like, I'm gonna get married instead of like just getting out and just being single, ready to mingle, and you know, wherever. Like,
No, it's anybody that knows me, I'm a very logical thinker. Like I'm a very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like things that make sense. I like structure. I like stability, and I like learning. I like to be stimulated mentally. So we met on a business tip, which was dope. You know, shout out to Bam and John for introducing us.
yeah.
But the first phone call, you was like, I don't know how to conversate. You started interrogating me. It was cool. But you had asked to pray for me. And
Yeah, at the end, after I was being smart.
yeah. And I think that was fine. I don't think anybody had ever directly, you know, any woman had been like, yo, can I pray for you? So that had my attention. And then as things progressed, you would teach me things. You still teach me things. And that's super important to me. I need to be connected mentally for me to be connected any other way. And then stability. You know what I'm saying? You out here grinding, you ended up getting a house. And when I say that, I don't say it in the wrong way, but if I'm gonna be with somebody and they're gonna be with me, you know, I get to appreciate what you bring to the table, and
vice versa.
you appreciate what I bring to the table. I brought nothing but myself at first, but thank goodness I worked out, you know what I'm saying? But
hey,
you know, just being real, like I tell guys all the time that are talking to, I would tell, and if it was vice versa, like
right.
if you're gonna go home, make sure it makes sense, and it's got to make sense in everything. Like it can't just be about love, especially when you coming home. You got to make sure the person you with understands your situation and what you coming home from, and make sure if you get into an argument, she's not gonna call the police. Like I'm not saying sometimes they should, but I'm just saying you have to know who you're dealing with. Too many guys, too many women are coming home getting in relationships and they end up bad. That's one of the main reasons people violate, come back to prison, etc. So for you, I didn't see necessarily any type drama where it was going to be anything like super detrimental. Obviously, we've had, you know, our ups and downs. We're both alphas, you know, we get into it at times like any other married couple, but I didn't get the vibe like you were, I don't know. I really felt like you were who you were, and you are, if that makes sense. I didn't feel like you were trying to be anything else, if that makes sense. That was really
authentic.
Yeah, that was really important to me. Because anybody know I'm very, man, I can spot bullshit from a mile away. Every once in a while, people get by me, but I mean, I've seen so much. Often. Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah.
Okay.
And a million other reasons, but.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Did you feel like your first night out, like, did it meet your expectations? Like, so as a man, so like, did you have any insecurities or thoughts, that might have made you doubt yourself? This was your first night home. We had just got married, which means we were able to consummate our marriage.
Yeah. I didn't have any.
Like, were there any, like, that's a long time to be away. And you were just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like your mind state. Like, what was your mind
I mean, I was good to go because you had been operating as my wife to the best of your ability before we even got married. So I felt close to you anyways. We were able to be as intimate as possible in the visitation room. I don't know.
Yeah, but I
you know what I'm saying? Just to be close.
Chemistry.
And then the first day home, I mean, you with me every step of the way. You teaching me how to use my phone, and you're my wife. So I wasn't nervous in regards to that. I just remember being tired as hell. I know, one part of the night when we walked to go get something to eat, and we walked across the road, not at the light, and I was freaking out. That was the only time I was nervous. Like, for real, I was like, yo, you got me jaywalking. Like,
I'm like, yeah, we good though. I mean, like,
because I was just on 10 when I first came home. I didn't want no problems
you ain't want
from
no
nowhere.
smoke.
But
you got pulled over too.
I was glad. I love going to hotels, so it was like I was glad to be in a hotel.
Yeah.
We had the jacuzzi, so I had first time in 17 years I got to take a bath.
Yeah.
And then lay down in the bed with the AC, the comfort, like it was good. And I was up all night though. I was watching the clock though.
And you were on that phone.
Yeah,
I knew you were gonna be.
Man, I wake
up, I'll be like,
I was excited, man.
Yeah.
Not that I don't get excited now, but I remember back then I was like, everything was just, man.
Download.
Yeah, trying to.
Pretty much.
Trying to, yeah.
So, being in Atlanta, fresh out.
The A.
Fresh out. You're in the A. And by the way, first of all, have you ever told the world what you are? Like your ethnicity?
Oh, what the heck? I don't know. No.
So, being in Atlanta.
What?
I gotta mix it up. So being in Atlanta, you light skin, you half white, half black, even as far as with the political side. Like, how do you cope with that? Like, and you're faithful on top of that as a man. How do you maintain that?
Well, the race thing, I don't know what it means to be white because my father that raised me was Mexican. So I only knew my Mexican side of the family, and my mother was black, the black side of the family. I'm adopted. I mean, the race thing, I always use it as an advantage. My mom always taught me indirectly how to be diverse because we were in Chicago away from her family, and my father's family, who was Mexican, embraced her. And my mom speaks Spanish. My mom, she might not speak a whole, but she understands Spanish.
Yeah.
And she cooks their food and she knows their customs, you know what I'm saying? So she taught me how to interact. And then just me being in those two different, households and really being with them, I mean, I learned that. So I just use it to advantage, I think, man, everybody mixed nowadays. You look up 2040, everybody gonna be mixed. But it just is what it is, man.
But the other side to that is like, you're in Atlanta, you're, attractive man. Like, you came home, like, do you feel like you came home like with the prison glow?
Yeah, I think hell yeah, we all do. I mean,
can you let people know what the prison glow is?
The prison glow is when you're not greasy, when you coming home, you done worked out, you've been resting, you ain't been drinking and smoking, your skin clear. stuff like that. He ain't been doing no manual labor for real. And yeah, I'm in Atlanta, and we talk. I mean, we're human, so people are gonna shoot their shot. But for me, it's the drama thing. It's about again, stability, and I'm a creature of habit. You know, I like to return home, like, and I don't want to mess my money up. That's the other thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I feel like if a guy wants to be a certain way, married or not, he has to want to be a certain way for himself. He has to have enough things that he values that he don't want to mess up. It don't always got to be. It should be the marriage, the individual. But I'm just saying, like, what else do you value? Right. Like, give yourself something, because if you just got one reason, if your reason to be faithful and committed is just her, she gonna piss you off one day, and then that might not be a good enough reason. But if your reason is you don't want to trick the bag up, or you don't want to lose your house, you know, which is ultimately what you have married, then for me, I feel like that's extra, because Atlanta's crazy too.
Atlanta's definitely very crazy. So when you talk about being approached in advances, so how do you handle advances? Like, do you feel like like much has changed with this 17-year gap? Even with that, like, do you feel like females are like more aggressive than they used to be? Like, from, even though we were like kids.
No.
Do you feel like
I got locked up in 2003? I came out in 2020. No, females are way more aggressive. Females, to me, they're like hyenas. But I don't mean to be that. I didn't mean to say it like that.
Running packs? No.
I don't mean to say it like that. But they say hyenas, the females are more dominant than the males. You know what I'm saying? I think they got more testosterone. It's some weird scientific fact, but it's just different. But I get it though. Yeah. Because y'all are mirroring what we're doing, what we've been doing, what we gave to your mamas, your grandma. So it's just, and then social media is crazy. Social media will, social media. Boosie said something that was funny as hell, and it was funny. He makes a lot of sense though. Boosie said social media has messed up a lot of marriages, a lot of relationships. He said, because back in the day, he said, before social media, all you seen was your girl, the girls you worked with, and then in his words, you side Joan across the street or across town. He said, but now you get up there, you see 30,000 women, and blah, blah, blah. And he said it's the same way, vice versa. But I feel like it's harder to be married now as opposed to it was in the 40s. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta, that's why it's important, man, to be with somebody like that you really want to be with. And then I would say also, I keep saying, because for me, marriage isn't all about love. It's business. It's a couple different things.
A lot of different elements.
Yeah, like, be with somebody that you're building something with, because it's going to be harder for you to walk away. And I will tell any married couple or anybody, like, build something together. So when shit hits the fan, because it's going to hit the fan, at least you're going to stop and hit the brakes and be like, hold on, wait a second now. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, build something that's not easy to walk away from. Whether maybe it's a home, I don't know, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a business, but build something.
That's a good takeaway too. I think that's some good advice. I think it's some real advice. For real.
I think so.
So, when you get these advances, do you ever bring up like, yes, I have a wife? Like, how do you respond? Is it like they
don't get that far.
She's 4'9", she'll hit you.
They don't even get that far. It don't even be conversations. It's just,
and I won't hit anyone.
Well, even it is what it is. But it's like this, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah. So if I smell smoke, why I'm gonna stick around to see the fire? Right. And I'm grown. I got my own car. I got my feet, and I know how to get the hell out the way, or politely be like, nah, and that's it. It don't have to be. I don't have to give explanations. I don't have to do none of that.
Mm.
I don't give explanations. Man, I don't like giving explanations to nobody for real. But
So you just mean to everybody?
no, I'm not mean everybody, but nah, it's a lot of drama in these streets. And then, to be honest with you, it hasn't really happened recently. But yeah, when I was going out to the lounges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even in those moments, in the back of my mind, I'm like, what you into? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the drop? Because out here you got back doors.
Yeah.
Man, these scammers, like you got everything. So even if my mind went over there, there's still 1,000 other thoughts attached to that because you don't know what's going on. You don't know a person. I know
you don't know what they you don't.
The rapper Trouble, he got into a situation, lost his life.
Yeah.
But that's just, we know about him because he was famous.
Right.
You know, he was in.
But how many countless other people?
Come on, man. And females too. It's vice versa. Them date naps, all that. They just had a joint. The young lady got lost her life on one of them date Bumble or something. I don't know what the name of the joint. You don't know. And for me, I'm old school.
You're very old school. And do you consider yourself to be old fashioned?
Yeah, very.
Like how old fashioned? What's old fashioned to you?
That I piss a lot of people off with my views. That's why I don't really say a lot of things that I'll be wanting to say.
So like how old fashioned? Like what era?
I probably should have been an adult in the 40s or something. Or maybe 50s. Yeah. I should have been with my suit and my drink in my office, smoking my cigarette. You know?
Oh God. You wanted somebody in the kitchen wearing an apron?
It's not that. I know that, I don't know. I don't know, but I feel that you need certain things still. And when you take things away and move things, it's not always good. Yeah, things have to evolve, things have to change. But man, the president it's just crazy, man. It's just weird. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't fit into society. I don't fit into society.
So do you feel like you don't fit into society due to your incarceration, or you feel like you've always felt like this? Like, do you feel like you were like an old, they say like it's an old soul type
when you were younger? When I was in school growing up, because I was mixed, I stuck out. So there was times where I was alienated from both groups, and there was times where I was accepted. So I always learned to operate outside of that. You know, I got 2 older sisters, but growing up, they weren't in the house with me. They were steps or half sisters or stepsisters, whatever you want to call them. So they were their mom. So I learned to operate by myself because my dad didn't live there half the time. My mom's at work at night. She sleep during the day. So I got me and the TV.
Right.
So I don't know. I learning to operate outside of everything. I guess I always felt outside. I still always feel outside, but because I always felt outside, because I was always the kid at the window, staring outside at the kids playing. I couldn't go outside. I wasn't old enough. But I've always had an observative eye, and that's why I've always been able, I feel, to connect with people. I'm always watching.
So Chicago kind of shaped you to who you are, or would you say that?
Hell yeah. Yeah, Chicago shaped. You ain't got no choice. If you grow up in Chicago, you ain't got no choice. You gonna be shaped. you gonna be shaped one way or the other. That's all I know.
Do you miss Chicago?
Yeah, that's home. I say, what do I say? Chicago raised me. VA made me. Atlanta has my heart. That's a saying that I say.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss Chicago, man. That's home. shit, I used to ride bikes up and down the street. And the food, I miss all that. Smelling, man. Yeah.
So I have another question.
Mhm.
Do you know how to make pruno?
What?
Do you know how to make pruno?
Y'all call it. Why do y'all call it? Where did you learn that word from? We didn't
From
call it
TV
that.
shows. That's what they call it.
I just call it wine.
Okay. So
That was one of my first hustles. I think that was my first hustle.
how long, were you doing that?
I don't remember exact. I was on Sussex too when I first started. I was working in the kitchen and I became the plug for brown sugar and oranges and jelly. And the white dude, Kentucky, I think, taught me how to make it. And shoot, I don't know. I was bored. Me and my homeboys wanted to get drunk, but I was good at it.
So was it really potent? Like,
it was potent enough. I mean, you locked up. You drink your 2 cups, you good to go.
wow. So it's
One
that
you start
strong.
feeling, yeah. I weren't the man, but I knew what I was doing.
Wow.
And that's how I got me making wine got me into the game with everything else. As far as because people wanted my wine. So I used to trade it for spoons or refills.
What about food? Like, were you really good at the food too? Like making stuff, like ordering, from commissary. Like, I know that they have certain types of foods.
I had my things, but I wasn't like, I knew guys that were, man, they should be like 5-star chefs. But I mean, I had some things I could make, but they got guys that are locked up that should be in the NBA. They got guys that should be chefs. They got guys that should be scientists. I've watched guys invent things in prison and like, hold on, man, how you do that? So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew a guy
a lot of people.
Yeah, I knew a guy that ran he made an oven out of pop cans and would make burritos and hot pockets and sell them with chips and sodas out of his cell. Like it was like a real
hustle. It's a food truck.
Yeah, you had dudes that did that. Like that's what they did. Make desserts and you think you was in a restaurant. Like,
I always thought that like
to be in there.
Yeah, if I was in there, I would have to do hair.
You would definitely have to do hair. You would be doing hair. It's okay.
Probably making clothes.
No, you just do hair. You'd be killing them off that. You'd be busy just all day. That. Just all day, every day. You'd be doing hair. You'd be killing them. You'd be good to go.
Okay.
And you'd have influence too, because everybody would want to deal with you. You'd be okay.
I can make it.
Yeah, I put money on your book to visit you. Let you call me.
I'm good. Oh my God. I'll be like, get me out of here right now. Like, no. So, is there anything in particular that you like really want to share, with the world? As far as all the things you've touched, all the things you've done since you've been home, is there anything that you want to share with the world as far as, where they may find you in the future, what to look for, what are some of the things that you would like? Is there anything that you could share, with anybody about what your plans are, what your thoughts are,
Man.
Things that you may have even thought about while you were, gone, and now you are, on the outside, after so long, have you done any of these things that you have desired to do? Are there more things that you would like to do?
Man, I don't even know where to start with that. I will say, man. I'm gonna say what I do know, and then what I think. What I do know is the basis for me being up here, starting a YouTube channel, doing the TikToks, which took off. And shout out to the TikTok universe. We got videos over 750K views, quite a few. So shout out to them for pushing the content. Yeah. Shout out to the bigger platforms like Alexander Denning and Lockdown 23 and 1. Everybody that's pushing the content, the basis behind it is it's an attempt to push the conversation on a selfish level with me to free my brother. That's my selfish objective. But the good thing about it is, while I'm on this journey to free my brother, we're able to tell the stories of countless others, and other people are able to be heard. And hopefully, we're helping to free some people along the way. Man, just advocate, speak up for some people that can't speak. And then on a mental health aspect, which I know at one point it's going to become the emphasis, is just getting healthy. That's a personal thing too. No harm and disrespect to the rest of the world, but man, it ain't got nothing to do with y'all. I'm on a kick to be, and I feel myself down the path. It's still a choice, and it's still hard some days, but because I'm feeling better, I want everybody else to feel it. So I'm in a place now where I'm trying to figure out ways to introduce people to what I feel, So shout out to Precious. We're supposed to be getting together tomorrow we're getting ready to plan a mental health expo. So I'm getting ready to push into that.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the objectives. And then just on my background from being adopted, there's a percentage of kids that are getting forgotten. They're usually from like 8 to 18, because those are the kids that are least likely to be adopted. They stay in foster care, they stay in orphan care, and they end up right in prisons. They end up in sex trafficking, all types of messed up stuff. So if I run the bag up right, then that'll be the final step for me as far as like the activism stuff. Because somebody said stop saying I'm an advocate and say that I'm an activist. So, but I'm still on the fence with that. And then the only thing outside of that is just I don't know, maybe one day political office, maybe, just to do it. And I don't know, just open the door up for some other
There's
people.
something else you didn't mention.
What's that?
By your 40th birthday.
What?
You want to do like a stand-up?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I want to do stand-up.
And let us roast you.
Yeah, but that's just a birthday thing.
Okay.
That's probably for my 50th. Yeah, I want to do the stand-up. I want to. There's a bunch of stuff that I want to do, but I don't know, man. I'm working right now. I got like 10 more years of good work. And then
so what are you going to do about fun? Like, what type of fun do you have or plan on having?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find in this current. I'm trying to find a hobby or something other than going to the park.
If you have suggestions that, ways where you feel like he may be able to, find pleasure and relaxation for himself, please
it's between,
drop them in the comment section. Thank you.
Right now, it's probably going to be between fishing and jiu-jitsu. No.
But it's like, why jiu-jitsu?
It's good.
Is it like peaceful?
No,
and like
you stay active,
movement,
it's discipline. Like, it's good stuff. Keeps you flexible. We're getting older.
Yeah, that's very true too.
But yeah, I gotta find an outlet, another outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find it.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna wrap up my segment.
Woo.
If there's anything else that you would like to discuss, I would more than be happy to come back. And if he would come back and do another interview, I'd be happy to ask more questions if you have any. Just send him an email. Well, you can send me an email, april.willers@lastinglayersofbeautyinstitute.com.
I'll put my email up there too.
Cool beans.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for interrogating me.
I appreciate you too. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to just let the world know you know, and open up about things and really connect with your audience. I feel like if you're really trying to do what you're doing, it allows people to see you for, you know, who you truly are outside of this thing, you know, a glimpse of real life, you know, a way to really be able to connect with people on a deeper level. You know, we are people, we experience things. And, you know, hitting on points about trauma, you know, anxiety, mental health awareness, just everyday life, you know, from the setbacks to the climb. And right now, it just seems to see that you're just on this climb and this journey. You know, I'm just happy to sit in the passenger.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I don't be knowing what I be doing.
The climb.
I don't know what I be doing. I just be going. Just take the hit, keep going. That was the word for the day. Get in the game, take the hit, keep going, score some touchdowns. That's it. You're going to get hit. It's going to be okay. That's all I know.
No question.
That's all I know. But
No
yeah, we
question.
can do this whatever you want, man. I definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate each and every one of you that hopped on here. We simultaneously casting right now on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. So shout out to all three families.
Boxing is a great idea. And I'm sorry that we didn't get to like read all the comments and all the questions. But boxing is dope too. I like training with you. Well, when you train me. Yeah, we gotta come back and talk about the boxing and stuff. It's a lot of stuff people don't know about you.
Yeah. I had my hands after the accident. They're getting back right. But don't forget to subscribe, like, follow the content, hit that notification bell, YouTube family, so you know when we're going live.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Freddie Williams. Man, we got guests on Sunday and Monday as well. We got Yadulahi Muhammad on Sunday in Santorini, Greece. That's what I call her. Her name's crazy. She's gonna be up here Monday. And she's got a heck of a story. Her and her significant other as well. Appreciate each and every one of you because at the end of the day, it could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us, man. Till next time, we always going live, getting the content. If you want to become part of the platform, get up here, get interviewed, shout out your business story, etc. Advocate for you, your loved one, tell your story, whatever it is. Hit us up. Follow me on IG at _100_TV. Till next time, man, y'all stay peace. At peace, stay blessed, but most importantly, stay free. That's it.
Yeah. B100 TV.
That's it, man. Peace.